Hey guys, welcome back, and let's see what's happening in the world of trading. Alright, so the market's open now, and we see some nice push down. Let me see. Let's have a look at this. I want to show you guys on my 4-hourly chart quickly, so I can give you guys sorry, introduction to all of this. Alright, so we've got nice equal lows here, equal lows. Alright, then we add these equal highs here, equal highs, sorry, highs here. And why are these equal highs so important? It is because it forms right into this fair value gap. And if you watch my fair value gap video, you'll see that if there's equal highs in the bottom of a fair value gap, that's a magnet for price to go to. But not just that, guys. If you then look at the swing point from here, gosh, if you take this swing point down to here, you'll see this fair value gap lines up with a premium array, which is at that 50% and just above it. So I was wondering if we're going to see some sort of punch into that first before we start the down move, but it looks like we're starting going lower. And then if we just zoom out a bit, you'll see there's some equal highs here as well. Alright, so there's liquidity all over the place, and if we go this route, we might come back and return to these levels up here. So those are the levels I'm watching right now, and I'm not going to be rushing into anything. And I did take a trade earlier. Let me just see where's that trade so I can show you guys. Alright, so I took a short here, and the reason I took that was these lows here was pretty equal, and I thought that's some liquidity there. We've taken that. That's $1,200. That's off, and it's off to a good start, which is great. But now what we need to do is we need to monitor price action. Alright, so this was a good start right here. Fair value gap, pushing price lower, and I just want to see if there's any big opening gaps today. No, nothing. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we've got liquidity way down there, so I don't know if we're going to go there straight away, but what we are going to do, we're going to follow these fair value gaps and see what's happening. That's first. So this is an important fair value gap right here, so we might see some sort of a test to go lower. Let's call it the first fair value gap. And if you really want to see, take that high there. So this, if we test this from here, we might see a deep retracement up here, right up into this white candle, and maybe take a sell there and see if we can get an entry there. Let's put it like this. And if we get it, I mean, we can scalp a quick $2,000 here. that's also fine. I'm not gonna do that. We'll have to see where price is gonna go from here. So let's just keep an eye on it. Okay, so let's see. If we're taking this low out, I'm just going to cancel the sell limit, and then I'm just going to sit and wait till something better presents itself. Okay, so there I'm taking that one off, because obviously if you want to take that low, you wanted to see some sort of a deeper retracement. Obviously we got a retest of this fair value gap, which is good, and I'm marking these out so you guys can actually see how well fair value gaps work. So we've got one push, another one. We can see some sort of inversion possibly coming soon, but at this point we're on a strong push to the downside, so not going to expect it to happen now. So let's just stay calm and see. Still pushing lower. A lot of news this week. Let's have a look here quickly. Alright, so we are gonna see probably some movement not so far from now at 10 o'clock. It's in 45 minutes, and we might see this then gets inverted, and then we might target these equal highs into this fair value gap, and then we'll see from there. So the big one for me is 10 o'clock consumer confidence. So those of you that just joined, just to run through it quickly, and I'm just going to pop over to a 4 hour just to show you guys. Alright, so obviously on the 4 hour we've got this nice equal highs up here, liquidity, so we're in this massive range, and then we've taken all this liquidity to the downside, leaving new equal lows here. Now just above the recent or the previous 4 hour candle, we saw nice equal highs there as well. And just on top of it is a fair value gap. I know there's fair value gaps up here, and that normally is a magnet for for liquidity rates. And if you really look at it, it's also, I mean, that could be a place where price want to spike into to run this liquidity and not go up directly and then drop down to these lows. Or it can just continue right to the top side. I'm just marking this out 50% of this range. Above that, it's that's where you see your premium, and that's where you normally would look for any sells. And but there's too much going on above this fair value gap. There's a breakaway gap. There's a big gap. There's all sorts of gaps. So there's a lot of space that still needs to be filled. So I'm not going to be too eager. If we see some sort of a turnaround here to go, to the top side, that's what I will target. And as we go right now, and maybe let's make this a different color so we know exactly what this one is. We'll make it purple. That's the first gap of the day, or that is important. And I just marked this fair value gap so I can show you guys in my fair value gap video. I mean, there's liquidity here, and we literally run it, shift away, create a fair value gap, test that mid level of that fair value gap, leave the little top side open, and then drop, shift, and then at this first fair value gap, I thought we could retrace a bit deeper before we go down, and I had my order up here, but we did test the fair value gap and continue lower. So I missed that. That's also fine. I took a trade earlier, so no rush. Now we just have to sit and wait and see what 10 o'clock brings. So for us to turn around here, I mean, we see this big push. It's aggressive to the downside. You want to see some sort of consolidation, manipulation, shift to the other side, and then go higher. But for now, I'm just going to be on my hands and not touch anything yet. Also a nice fair value gap that was holding price just now. I will not take this as an inverted fair value gap, and the reason being is I like to see aggressive turn to invert, and then obviously then I'll deem that as some sort of a plus setup. But for this one, could be right. I mean, we at within the macro range now, which is 9:50 till 10 past 10, and there's news at 10 o'clock. So this could be some sort of manipulation to a bigger move to the upside. But let's just wait and see. The other thing is I would never have taken this long here after this inversion. It's too close of that swing high there, because that's when and that's too far from the fair value gap. So I'm going to take that off. Right, see this first fair value gap, guys. The body of this candle, it's right at that top end. Did not close above it or anything. I mean, we've got a black candle now. It looks like it wants to reject this 50%. But I'll have to wait. If I really want to target these highs up here, I want to see a close above the second fair value gap that I've marked out here, the blue one, and then I most probably would look for some further upside here. But for now I'm just gonna wait. I mean, this big candle up here, all this liquidity down here, there's liquidity with this lower highs. So let's see. too much liquidity on both sides of this, the bigger range. So, you know, up here and down here. So we're closer to this top one before we want to go to this higher one. But this is the, if we want to go short, I mean, if you think the market should drop, then you would not want to get short here. You would want to get short above this line, because that is 50% of the bigger range. That's a premium fair value gap, but there's some gaps up higher as well, so just be careful. Just from a scalping perspective, to show you guys, what I also do is I normally look for these black candles, white candles, and then I take the wick. If we close above that wick, I draw it out. Oh, come on. And as we test that, you'll take it up for a quick scalp. And in this case, I would probably scalp to this fair value gap mid-range. Just something you guys I thought you want to know, and I'm sharing that with you. I'll show you here. I mean, this white candle, black candle push down again. Come right into it, test it, and then target lower. Although we're going that side, that's why these are all scalps. I mean, this black candle here could be a scalp again. Right there. Price test that, but I'm not in a position or in a place that looks worth you know, taking a scalp trade. Two minutes to go. This almost looked like some sort of a consolidation turtle soup to send price higher. They're in that wick now. Now you can just scalp it to the top side, but we've already hit that 50%. One thing I want to just highlight here, and you added 50%, that would have been a nice quick scalp. I mean, there's a fair value gap down here. We could see a deep spike through this first fair value gap in here if price wants to go higher. Would have been a nice scalp there. Okay, I think we've got, okay, this is the 10 o'clock. Let's see what we get. I thought we'll get some bigger move, but guess not. Okay, get some movement here. Okay, so now I'll obviously look for a retest here and try to take it higher, because now we inverted it. Right, so I've put an order to the top end here just to see if I can get in this trade. Obviously I would like to see it in this fair value gap area, and I'm not going to chase price up here in case it wants to come down and then you buy at the worst price. Then my target then would be this 420 level, or yeah, 420, 430, 420 level. But it would be great if I can get picked up on this trade and not left behind. If it does, then so be it, and I'm not going to do anything. I'll just leave it, unfortunately. Okay, so if I'm not gonna get picked up here and it runs without me, I will look for something up here, if any. But if it doesn't, then I'm not gonna chase it. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, there's a fair value gap here. We could see a spike through all of that in here and then go higher, or just gradually move up higher. See how this wicked into this little fair value gap here. Maybe this is a breakaway gap, and again, this white candle push that wick, we went straight into it. Let's see if we can get in on this. Because my thinking is maybe this is a gap that's going to stay open, and we want to get there now. I don't know why I can't see my Okay, so now I'm in the trade. Now, I mean, let's see if that's where it wants to go from here. If we see a nice solid push and close above these highs, I'll obviously move my stop to break even and see. Like I said, guys, these gaps down here, and now it looks like that's exactly where we want to go to first. I promise you, if I leave these trades, then I always miss it because of this breakaway gaps. And then the times when I'm thinking, okay, let's try it, it just reverses on me. Because I think we're probably going to go into this fair value gap before we go higher. Just look at this, guys. Nice equal highs again. Nice equal highs, this equal highs up here. Probably some sort of a pullback this. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Alright, so nice little inverted fair value gap here. Make it orange. Running these highs now, so I hope we're not plunging down now again. I want to see some follow through here. Keeping my stop here below this candle that formed the fair value gap or inverted fair value gap, and see if we can push through these equal highs to that 420 level. Is right there. This is a good IFG. I'll tell you guys why in a minute. It's coming out of a fair value gap. Okay, so it retraced back into this fair value gap. If you take the range from there to there, that's 50%, and it's 50% of the fair value gap. Pretty instant. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles invert. Would have like to see some sort of a retest on this IFG, and now we see movement to the upside, and hopefully that 8,500 or that 420 level. That's the target. Right guys, we pinning into this big black candle here, and there's a fair value gap. I know there's one down here as well, but maybe we're gonna, if we close above this black candle's high now, then I think we on the right side for price to go higher. Come on, push up. Push it, push it, push it. There we go. Don't stop now. Sometimes you just have to be patient and not rush it. You know you want to go all the way up there. I mean, you could really I want to say you could really push this to the 50% mark, that 450 level. But what I would do is I would most probably close 4 contracts here, one in the middle and then one at that top end. Or you can just let it be and take all of them at that 420 level. Just tighten up my stop a bit. It's amazing how these candles nicely gave something, and now it's like gradually dragging its feet to the top. nowhere close to rushing there. And then it's going to start playing with you. It's going to give a nice big candle and then pull back and then slowly going there again. But today the ultimate goal is to get there, because $8,500 profit will be a good day for us. Go on, push now, don't stop now. Let it go. Let it go. And I think I'll just put my stop at break even at this point. The last thing I want is this thing turn on me, because he has some unfinished business down below somewhere, and then targeting my level only next week or something. Alright, so we're on $7,000 and we are still climbing, and we're going to the liquidity we mapped out earlier, and so close, but so far all I need this thing is now to hit it, and then I can chill. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, 8,550 or something to that effect. That was a good trade for us. Well done to those who stuck to the guns with that trade. I mean, if you really look at it, we could have entered here in that wick, but the plan was, we've got things here, there was some news coming out, but you know what, we exited trade here, we jumped in and we targeted that high, and I did say you can take, I mean, 80% off here, and then maybe another one here, and then at 50% mark up there. But all in all, doesn't matter. What we've done is we've taken a trade. It played out nicely. It was great. I'm happy. I mean, you can shut your PC down now and go take a walk in the park or something to that effect. All right, so where are we going now? Now the thing is, I just want to go to a 4 hour quickly. Let's go 1 hour. Maybe there's a better view there. All right, so as you can, well, not as you can see, you'll see this higher lows. That's liquidity down there. We got this nice spike into this body of this candle, rejecting, and now I'm afraid we might want to invert this. If we invert this blue equal lows that we just ran, these equal highs up here could be up for grabs. I'm not saying we're going to run there now. I'm just saying, guys, there's FOMC tomorrow, so just calm down. If you made money today, rather just stick to that and just read price action from here on, because we've got this open gap or breakaway gap or whatever you call it, and there's all this little gaps in between. Even if you look at a 4 hour daily, you'll see it. I'm not going to push any buttons now. I think that trade was a good trade for us. I just wanted to show you guys, we had a narrative. There's equal lows here, there's equal highs there, right in the middle at that 50% there was equal highs there, so we were targeting whichever way we were going, that's where we're going to target. Now I don't know what it's going to do in the middle. It's either going to invert, come down and gives you another entry to buy to go higher, or it's going to spike through, reject and go lower. That is for us to sit around and find out if that's going to happen later. I'm just saying, guys, I've hit my target for today. I don't need to do anything further. See, if I've moved my position to that 50%, I would have been sitting here wondering what, when, how. What, when, how. Alright, but Okay, so there we go. We through to 50%. Now let's see where it wants to go from here. Okay, so guys, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna sit around and watch because I'm not gonna take a trade. I'm not gonna babysit it. I think I'm gonna call it a day for this session. What I will do is I'll check in. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'm off to go do some other stuff now. But I do think I'll pop in maybe for the PM session. Maybe go live a bit later after 1 and see where we're at and if there's anything, and yeah, and see how it plays out. And yeah, with that said, thank you for those who join me and watch me. Thanks for the messages. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna do more of this. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a subscribe, share it with your friends, and let's walk this journey together. Let's see how we can make money through this year. And even if it's on a paper trade account, every time you get it right and you refine your trading plan, makes you a better trader for the day when you decide to go with live funds. But anyways, we had a great day. It was a great trade. I'll check in with you guys later. Take care and don't overtrade, and speak to you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.